Welcome back once again. I am Nicodemus Kane. Today is March the 25th, 2022, and yesterday the United States President threatened that there would be food shortages coming. That means that they will probably make every policy in the world to make that happen. So if you really want to fight back, to fight this, do it. Don't just let it happen. Get out there and fight it. Tell your friends, tell your friends, tell your family. If they're not going to listen to it, then they're lost. It is what it is. You move on. But we're moving into that point to where they are now threatening what's going to happen. They're not even saying that it's a possibility. He said that it will be coming. So I just wanted to get that out first. I was thinking about it whenever I was in the shower this morning. I was thinking about it. You know, we've moved past a point where they can give us, warnings, where they say, "Oh well, this might be coming, this might be happening," and then something completely random happens, and then hey, look, they were right. We've gone past that point to where they've just started saying, "This will happen, this will happen, this will happen," and then they cause it somehow, usually by writing some kind of order or putting some kind of order into effect, and then it happens, and then they're like, "Oh no, now we have to do 50 things that are worse to clamp down on everybody in the world because this is everybody else's fault." And then something worse happens, and then they threaten something else will come because of it, and then they write something into law that causes it to happen. And then, sure enough, it happens. Well, we've gone past all that point, and now they're just directly threatening that, "Oh, it's coming. Oh, just wait, it's coming." It's not even a suggestion anymore. They are making direct threats to the people of this world, and if you're not fighting back in any way, shape, or form whatsoever, if you're just sitting on your hands and doing nothing, then you're part of the problem, and I am sorry. That's just the truth. So we will move away from that. I just wanted to get that out, man. The things these people say, and then no one hears it, and then, like I said, it comes around later because of something that was written in the law. Just something that was like, "Oh, well, this is going to help us, so we're just going to write it in anyways." And it causes things to go worse. And then, they're like, "Oh no, look what happened. This is so bad." And everybody has such short memories. And no one seems to stop and think, well, it was like 2 years ago where they were talking about this, and this happened, and this was a cause of this. It's not a coincidence that the oil pipelines were shut down in North America a year before a war broke out, to where we stopped importing gasoline from a country that we magically are now warring with. What? Do you not see it? What was it? 3 years? 3 years before the Cove hit, there was that Fauci got up in front of people and made a direct threat. "Oh, I foresee there will be a problem, coming along in this administration that we're going to have to, And then what was it? 2 months? November, December, 2 months before we even heard the word, they had a They had a test run for it, and then it pops up. You can go all the way back to 2001, where they were talking about the possibility. I cannot remember exactly where it was, but they found the articles and the interviews back then, before September of 2001, where they were talking about the possibility of something happening inside the United States, inside of a major city that included bin Laden, that could be considered a terrorist threat that we should worry about. And then, wouldn't you know it, the same year, September 2001, something happens. It's always been there. It's always been there. They've always put it out there. It's predictive programming. I've talked about this several times on the channel. I've talked about the test runs that they do. I've talked about this stuff. And we've gotten to the point now where, like I said, they're just straight out going out there telling you what's going to happen instead of warning you what could possibly happen. They're not even doing it in secret like they used to do. They used to hide this stuff. Now they just put it right out in the open where everybody can see, because they know at this point, if they just put it out there into the general population's subconscious, the general population will let it happen. And it's just absurd that no one is even trying to fight any of it. You're just sitting on your hands doing nothing. I may not be talking directly to the people that are hearing my voice right now, and I'm sure if you're smart enough to understand it doesn't include you. But the people that keep saying, oh no, we're ready to go, oh no, we're ready to fight this, we're ready to do this, they ain't doing nothing. Everybody just sitting on their hands, too scared to go outside, probably wearing masks. We have been given the ability to fight for our rights to live in this world free. But so many people have chosen not to take it, have chosen not to fight, have chosen not to stand up, have been lied to so much to where they just believe, oh, we just let it happen. It'll be okay. Just let it happen. Meanwhile, people are dying. People are suffering. Everyone is going to be suffering eventually. And we've just let the evil ones that have laid the snares, have despised us simply for who we are. I'm looking in my Bible right now to see if there was any other place. There's plenty of them. We have talked about this time and time again. They have digged pits for us. The proud have digged pits for us. Where else? They have dealt perversely with us without a cause. They have forged a lie against us. I could make an entire story just based upon all of the letters of Psalm 119 that we've been going through for the past, what are we on now? We're on 17? No, not 17. Sheesh. It's what, 14, 15? Somewhere around there. I could make a story just based upon all the times where it talks about the proud, the evil ones, the people that have sought to just hurt us and destroy us simply because we exist. And it's day after day where I've been talking about it. And they just keep going, and so many people just are not listening. And then those people that are listening, they aren't doing enough to tell those people that aren't listening. Whether it's because the people that aren't listening are just willfully ignorant and don't want to hear it, which I've had too many of those, or whether they don't know. It's time to push back. If we're not going to push back, then let me know, because I need to really start wondering where we're going to go and what we're going to do, because this has gone too far, guys. We've let it happen too far. I feel like I'm wasting my breath sometimes. And there's so many other people. There's so many other people. I can't. So many of these truth channels, especially the bigger ones, they just want to get on there and they want to say the same old stuff, and they want to run their fear porn, and they want to say, "Oh well, it's coming. You better be prepared. Oh well, it's coming. You better hope that you can survive through it. You better." There's not that many that are telling you to fight back. There's not that many telling you that all you need is good information behind you. So many of them. This is why I stopped watching so many truth channels, because so many of them were, if they weren't trying to sell you on their website, or if they weren't trying to glad hand their Patreons, or if they weren't trying to sell you their Patreons, or sell you their 15% off code to the Patriot Supply, or try to sell you, the brand new, solar technology light nonsense, or whatever the hell else it is. If they weren't trying to do that, then what they were doing was they were either showing you something that had absolutely nothing to do with what's going on in the world, or they were just telling you over and over again that you just had to be prepared. Get yourself ready, be prepared. Just make sure you have enough food. It's coming. It's coming. Just be prepared. Not a damn one of them has ever said, stop and pray. Read your Bible. Look in your Bible and see where it says you don't have to stand for this. Give yourself back over to God. Give yourself over to Christ. Be washed in His blood. Ask for forgiveness. And then ask for the ability to fight back. The sword of the Spirit is an offensive weapon. But nobody's hearing that, because nobody's preaching it. Everybody's preaching about going out, hiding in their little hidey hole, storing up food, getting ready to suffer. But nobody's talking about fighting back. So we'll just keep going here. I don't know what else to do, We'll just keep moving on. I just had to get it out. Sorry, 15-minute rant. It is what it is. Just have to keep going along to get along. I feel like I'm way out here in an island, and there's just nobody that's willing to step up anymore. A lot of these good old boys that live out here where we live, they talk a good game. You know, they got their gun racks in their trucks, and you know they got their American flags out, and they got their, you know, "Don't tread on me" stickers on their cars, and you know all this other kind of stuff. And these boys look like they're ready to go, but they're not moving. They're not moving. On this level, they either don't see it or they just don't want to see it. And you just want to stop these guys and just say, you have to do more. And some of them I've heard. Some of them I've heard, and I haven't talked to a lot of them, but some of them I've actually talked to, and they just think everything's going to be all right. That, or they know that something's going on, but they don't want to. They're just waiting for somebody else to move, and it's like everybody's primed and ready to go, but everybody's still waiting for somebody to move, and nobody's moving. It's unreal. And of course, the revolution will not be televised, so you wouldn't even know it was here, even if you saw it. And even if you did see it, even if it was televised and you knew what was going on, they would tell you that it was the wrong person that was doing it anyways. I could have mentioned something there, but I wasn't going to. All right. Anyways. Psalm 119. This is AIN. In the King James, it is AIN. On this website that we found, I'll go back up. It is AYIN. Let me make sure. Man, my mouse just does not want to move today. This mouse is only, how old is this mouse? 12 years old, I think. I wouldn't doubt that it was starting to crack down on me. So AIN is the 16th letter. I was not even close. Okay. Gematria of 70. The pictograph looks like an I. Where are we at here? Looks something like an I, whereas classic Hebrew script is constructed of a yod and embedded zayin. So it is a man connected with the zayin. Whereas the one before, what did we say it was? It was, oh, goodness. Let me open this back up. I need to have like a... Was it Samek? No, this was the shield. Was it Noon? Was the bent man? Was the Vav with the crown? The humble? The righteous? Where was the one? No, that wasn't it. There was one where they came together. No. Man, how many of these have we been doing? How far back do I have to go? But these are connected now. Anyways, sheesh. It's the Vav and the Zayin. It's the man and the holy one, the holy man together. It's the connection. So it means the I. Ayin means I, as in understanding, to see. Ayin further represents a primeval light, that is, the spiritual light of God mentioned in Genesis 1:3. Came down here a little bit more. And they were talking about whenever Christ talks about the I, when the eye is the light of the body. There it is. The eye of the light is the light of the body. So if your eye is healthy or good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is evil, the whole body will be full of darkness. If then the light in you is darkness, how great the darkness. So it is about the spiritual nature of the eye. It is about the understanding and wisdom that you have, especially in a divine sense. It is the Vav with the spirit, the crowned AYIN. So it is the connection between the two. So it is that understanding of God's will for us. There you go. So, AIN. I figure we do this before we actually read it. That way I don't have to come back to it later. So with that in mind, let's read through it. I did not have a chance to read through it yet because I was contemplating whether I was going to go on a 15-minute rant before we started talking about this or not. Plus, I just got down here in the basement, and there's still a little bit of cleaning up I have left to do. We're still, it's still wet. It's still damp. We got a guy coming out to clean the gutters, and we're getting a plumber out here to talk about our sump pumps. I personally think our sump pumps need to be a little bit lower, but that is what it is. So let's read this. We can go into all the other stuff later. All right. AIN. I have done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let me read that one again. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation, and for the word of thy righteousness. Deal with thy servant according unto thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. I am thy servant. Give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies. It is time for thee, O Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, above fine gold. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. Amen. Where is the one? I hate vain thoughts. That was the very first line of Samech from yesterday. I hate every false way. Every vain, false way of this world that the way of man teaches you. Over and over again, we see it. The proud, the vain, the false. Oh, it's there too in Mem. At the end of Mem. Through thy precepts I get understanding. Therefore I hate every false way. What does this one say? Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right. And I hate every false way. I hate every lie. I hate everything that comes unto me that is wrong, that is false, that is evil, that is vain, that is proud, that is on and on and on and on and on. But you never hear this stuff. I've never heard this stuff. I've always heard to be good and go out and, give to the poor, give to the needy, do this, do that. That's good stuff. Yes, that's right. I've never heard any of this. Hating every proud way, hating every evil way. I never heard about how bad the people of this world will hurt you just simply for the fact that you exist. The evil of this world, the people, the way that they treat others. I never heard any of this. But it's always been here. It's been inside of these Psalms. It's been trapped inside of these Psalms. And we've only scratched the surface. There's probably so much more in there that I don't even know. Now let's go back through this one again, starting from the top. I have done judgment and justice. Leave me not to mine oppressors. There it is once again. Leave me not. Do not leave me be with the people of this world. I have done justice, judgment, and justice. I have done the things you have wanted me to do. I have carried out your commandments and your laws. Therefore, do not leave me with these evil people. Be surety for thy servant for good. Let not the proud oppress me. There's another one. There's the proud. Do not let the proud people of this world oppress me. I have been your servant for good. Don't let the evil ones, the vain ones, the wicked ones, the proud ones of this world, do not let them oppress me, as they have done since the beginning of time. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation, and for the word of thy righteousness. We've seen that one before. Mine eyes fail. Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Kaf. Mine eyes fail for thy word, saying, when wilt thou comfort me? Here's the same thing. Mine eyes fail for thy salvation and for the word of thy righteousness. The eyes, AIN, being able to see the truth, being able to see the light, being able to understand what's happening. Deal with thy servant according unto thy mercy, and teach me thy statutes. Give me the understanding. Let me see your word. Let me see what you want me to do. Show me the way. Show me the better way. Give me the understanding so that I may carry it out. Because apparently we're not doing something right. And whatever it is that you need us to do, please show us, and we will do it. I am thy servant. Give me understanding, that I may know thy testimonies. This is every single line so far. Give me understanding that I may know thy testimonies. And a lot of people may say, oh, well, it sounds like every other line that you've been reading for the past. Yeah, it's repetition. It's absolutely repetition. I will absolutely admit that. The Psalms have been extremely repetitious because I think they're trying to drive home a point. They're absolutely trying to drive home a point, and I've been trying to drive home a point. And it seems like the more we get deeper into it, the more that we need to start stressing these facts. There is an underlying current here. And it tells you about the proud, it tells you about the evil, it tells you about the evildoers of this world, it tells you how bad they will oppress you and hurt you and maim you and destroy you, and it tells you that there is a way out. That through God's commandments and understanding, He will give you the peace to be able to overcome that. He will help you overcome them. He will destroy them. He will take them away from you. You just have to turn back to Him. He will take that away. The sword is an offensive weapon. The sword of the Spirit is an offensive weapon. How many times we've gone over this? Let's keep going. It is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. It is time for thee, Father. Please, Father, it is time for you to start casting down judgment because these people have gone way too far. They have hurt, maimed, and destroyed your people. They are hurting the children so much. They are hurting the children. They have twisted the lies of this world in order to make vain people think that it is all about them, that anyone can become anything they want to, and they are teaching this to the children, and they are feeding every amount of garbage to the children possible, and they are hurting and destroying children's futures because of it. And they just keep spreading the lie, and it just gets worse and worse. Father, it is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. Everything you've ever told us, they just made it null and void. They have turned evil for good and good for evil. Your book says, woe be to them that call evil good and good evil. Woe be to them. It is time for you to work, Father. We're talking about the Psalms. We're reading the Psalms, and yet it's connecting to stuff that comes way later because it's all connected. I haven't really stressed that enough. I know I've kind of said, well, this sounds exactly like, something that Christ has taught us. Christ's words, literally, he is the Word made flesh. When you read through this stuff and then you understand the things that Christ said, it all connects. I have never really, I've touched on it, but I have never really gone into it in depth because I'm not that perfectly versed in the New Testament, but it's always there. It's always a connection because Christ knew the Old Testament. He knew the Psalms. He knew the commandments. He knew everything. He was the Word made flesh. He knew it all. And every time you read this, you hear stuff like that, and it's there, and you get to make the connections. And it's an amazing thing. It's a head trip. Is what it is, because it's like, you really start understanding just how beautiful the whole thing is. You start understanding how it all works together. But it is time for thee, Lord, to work, for they have made void thy law. Therefore I love thy commandments above gold, yea, even fine gold. That is the do not store up things of this world. You want to store up things for the next world. There is nothing on this world that can save you. You don't get to take any of it with you. It will all perish in fire, including gold, because the people of this world, they worship silver and gold. They just like everything else, money is something that can be worshipped, valued, just like everything else. Therefore I esteem all thy precepts concerning all things to be right, and I hate every false way. And I hate every false way. There's that word again nobody likes to talk about. Hate is such an ugly, dirty word, and yet it appears over and over and over again in your Bible. I could probably look it up too. How many times is the word hate in the Bible? But I'm not going to. I'm not going to do that. Whether it is talking about those evil ones hating the people of God just simply because they choose to think differently, or whether it is about us hating and it's usually about just hating lies, hating the false ways, hating the vain things of this world, hating the things that are of no profit whatsoever. We've hit that one a couple times. It's about cannot remember where we said it. It was I want to say it's a week ago, actually. They follow things in which there's no profit. I cannot remember where that is. Yeah, it was a while back. Just skimming it, I'm not seeing it. But I do remember us talking about it. But all things remain. All things are. Oh no! Wait, no. It was a It was Jeremiah, wasn't it? It was Jeremiah. Oh, come on now. Was it Jeremiah 16? Ah, shoot. Where they talk about all things are vanity. All things are vanity, and that the people of the world have chosen to follow the things of this world that have no profits. Something like that. I'm going to keep looking it up while I try to find it. But it is usually about that. It is usually about hating those things. Never really about hating people. I mean, maybe there was a couple times where it says, I hate the evil ones because they choose to do this or choose to do that, or but it is always almost always about hating the vain things of this world. This is going to take me forever to find this. I don't remember where it was. I'm sure somebody else would know, like, immediately. It's like, oh, it's right there. Okay. I don't know. Alright, anyways. Yeah, I'm going to stop. I could get lost trying to find just that one thing. But I know we talked about it. We talked about how the vain things of this world that hold no profit for anyone. There's nothing in there, and that goes along with they're like, was it John that called them clouds without water? They are just full of nothing. It is, it is just simply something made for them, made for the person, because it's just vanity. It's just something to help them get along. It's like the stuff of this world, the garbage that we tend to collect of this world. All it's doing is puffing you up more than anything else. Doing you good. Is it doing God good? Is God getting any enjoyment or satisfaction in all the stuff you own, the existence that you have surrounded yourself with? Does it give him any profit? To have your big huge mansions full of all of your stuff, and to have it sitting there full of, some people. I've seen people that have so much, which again, you could say I do too. I told you I have my collection of stuff in my room. I've gone through this. That I have a miniature toy museum in my house. I've gone through this too. It is only there for me. It doesn't do God any good. I have not sold off huge chunks of it yet. We're going to. I admit that. I am just as much of a hypocrite whenever I talk about this kind of stuff, and then I look around and I see all the crap that I own. I get it. I absolutely get it. Most of all this stuff I had before I came to the Word, and I have not been convicted yet to sell off huge chunks of it. We're getting there. Oh, we're getting there. Believe me. I'm starting to think about it at this point that we need to start dumping some stuff, because one of the things that it does say in the Bible is that when the time comes, we are going to have to head for the hills. We are going to have to not turn back to our houses as we run away from whatever's coming. God will provide for us. So we are approaching that point where we are going to have to start thinking about that. And we've thought about that. You know, us personally, me and my wife, we've thought about that. We've set several things down, plans of what we are supposed to do, where we're supposed to go. Hopefully, again, God will help point us in the right direction whenever that time comes. Something I've definitely prayed for several times, because you just don't know. It's like I said at the very beginning of the video, they are making direct threats now. They are absolutely making direct threats, and every day seems like they cause or they push some new agenda, some new thing. You know, every time you turn around, it's something different, and they just keep pushing and pushing and pushing, and eventually they're going to find the one thing that cracks it all, and then the normies are going to wake up. And when the normies wake up, and when the normies really start figuring out that, oh wait, something's going on here, it's going to be too late. By then, they will have already ensnared everybody, and I don't think anybody will be able to get out of it at that point. So it is fitting that we have done AIN today, which is about understanding. The pictograph is about an eye, about opening your eye, about understanding the world, not just having the eye in your body being light and having the understanding inside of you, but to see what is going on, to understand what's happening in the world and where it's going and how it's going. It's very fitting that we are doing this today because of what's going on. So with all of that being said, I'm taking a drink of water, because my throat was right there. But with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get off of here, because if I keep talking, I'm going to dig myself into a hole, and I don't want to dig myself into a hole. Man, don't ever stop trying to tell people the truth. Don't ever stop trying to tell people the truth. And if they don't want to hear one truth, then give them another truth. And if they don't want to hear that truth, give them another truth. Keep pushing. Now again, if somebody doesn't want to hear it, if they want to be willfully ignorant, move on. That's fine. But don't ever stop trying to wake people up. Because if anything, if you can get just one person to open their eyes to the truth, and if the Father decides that they want to save that person, to help that person, then you will have saved a soul. You will have saved a soul. Brought somebody back to God. And the angels will rejoice. That's what the Bible says. So every time anybody does anything good, or I think the exact words are every time a person pushes evil away or chooses not to do evil, the angels rejoice. Can you think how much greater it would be if you were able to just save one person from the evils of this world? All right, with all of that, I'm going to go. God bless you guys. Take care of yourselves. Just got to keep going, man. Just got to keep going. All right, take care.